As we wrap up Season 1 of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, we want to extend a huge thank you to all of our listeners for your incredible support. A big shout out to our athletic director, coaches, and entire athletic community for their dedication and hard work. And of course, a huge thank you to our amazing fan base for your unwavering enthusiasm and support. We couldn't have done it without you. Stay tuned for more in Season 2 on the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
This is Brian Leverins, Athletic Director for the Winamac Warriors, and you are listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast with host Justin Ruff.
Welcome to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Riverside Rentals. Discover canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winamac. Action Plumbing and Heating for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. And now, the voice of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Hello. Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast, episode 44. Last episode, part 2 of this Winamac Athletic Podcast. A different one throwing at you today, but a beautiful lineup. We do have eight athletes, student athletes moving on to the next level, playing some type of sport in the college level. And we will have every coach talking about that player and how they have grown as an athlete and how they have grown as a person as well. So here's a lineup for these athletes that are moving on. We have Dylan Guilford. He's signing with Purdue Northwest. He is running cross country and track. And we do have Coach Mikey Haschel and Coach Bryce Kappas talking about him as a individual and as an athlete. Then Lauren Bruce. She participated in softball. She is signing with Marian University of Ancilla. Again, she was part of the softball team. We do have Coach Belcher jumping on and talking about her and her career. Addison Allen, he's signing with Indiana Tech Warriors. He is playing baseball next year with that squad. We do have Coach Mark Hendricks jumping on, talking about Mr. Allen. Cadence Hoover. She is signing with Indiana University of Kokomo. She is running cross country. She is also participating in track. We have Coach Mikey Haschel, Hall of Famer, jumping on and talking about Miss Hoover. Camden Long, he's signing with Olivet Nazarene University. He is running some track there for that program. We do have Coach Bryce Kappas jumping on once again, talking about Mr. Long and his career as a Warrior. Peyton Attinger is signing with Southwestern Michigan College, and he is participating in the bass fishing program. Holy cow, pretty awesome stuff. Of course, unfortunately, we don't have a fishing team for Winamac, but we do have Coach Mark Hendricks jumping on. He coached him in baseball. He will talk about him as an individual and athlete. So we do have Coach Hendricks on talking about Mr. Attinger. Braden Matthias. He's actually attending Evansville University. He is going to be walking on the baseball team there. So we do have Coach Mark Hendricks on again, talking about Mr. Matthias, who had a fantastic senior year as a Winamac Warrior. Then we have Brody Winsler. He did have a visit with Manchester College. He is, as of right now, maybe possibly making a decision to see if he will play baseball for Manchester College. We do have Coach Hendricks jumping on and talking about that fantastic year that Mr. Winsler had, breaking records left and right, pitching. Just an awesome year that Brody had. So we will have Coach Hendricks jumping on, talking about them. So we will start the lineup here with our coaches. We do have Coach Mikey Haschel. Heck, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Cadence Hoover, student athlete for Winnemac High School, and you're listening to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast. Today, I am joined by a Winnemac Hall of Famer and Mikey Haschel, the head coach for our Winnemac girls cross country teams and the Winnemac girls track team. How's it going, Mikey?
It's going well. We're doing it.
We're doing it good. And today we are talking about senior Cadence Hoover, who is with you for the girls cross country team. You coached her in girls track team, so we're knocking them both out here, and is going on to Indiana University of Kokomo to run cross country and track. So we're just going to talk about her, Mikey, as we can do for both cross country and track. Just as Hoover, you've been an assistant with her as well, seeing her grow. Just her coming in her freshman year, all right, just how much has she grown just all throughout high school, her mentality, her work ethic, and all that fun stuff since she started high school to now, Mikey?
Well, Cadence has been a tenacious athlete as long as I've known her. Obviously she kind of had to run in the shadow of Maggie Smith there for a long time, but even from day one, I knew that she was going to be, one of our best runners. Just somebody that has always had no problem training, do what you're told, and also just not really distracted by nonsense. Right. She would do the workout to the best of her ability, and the only criticism I would have for her would be that she wouldn't always speak up when something was off. So she was plagued with some injuries early on. This year came through it, was pretty happy in junior year track when she made it through with relatively, no problems there. And then cross country came through, same thing. And then this year in track, she finished as like one of our top scorers, the top scorer, and, PRs in every one of her events, and just, finished at the apex of her season, the top of her game. So, it was just really, really incredible athlete to watch develop.
Right, really, especially this year, top runner in cross country, top scorer in track, and then she was athlete of the year for Winnemac. Just fantastic stuff that she has done not only her senior year, but all throughout high school. Did she tell you, I don't know, maybe her, last year or her senior year, that this is something that she wanted to do? One of her goals is to run in the college level. And how did that process go about? Did she reach out to IUK, or did they reach out to you? Do you have your head inside there with all that information?
A little bit. With her, I wasn't really sure. She's a woman of few words. She doesn't. We talked about college. I said, are you interested in running in college? And she was kind of like, yeah. And I was kind of like, for real, or what? Because here you are, you're doing really well. It should be something that you're interested in. I think I'm not exactly sure the process, but I may have reached out to Kokomo about her, or they've reached out. Either way, Kokomo coach and I, put her in contact with them, and being that she was wanting to get into nursing, it was kind of like, you should really think about running there. You can use this to your advantage. So I do believe that now she's seen that's ahead, and it may be motivating her to know that she's going to have to step it up in college to run with the big girls.
I like it. That's awesome. And IUK, again, I've always had high respect for them. Just the athletes, too. They get a lot of athletes around this area, so a lot of familiar faces. Last thing, let's talk about you have two sports with her. So maybe, is there a memory that, let's dig deep in the Mikey Haschel brain, just like a memory that you have her that will stick to you for a while? Could be a pretty funny one. Just something. I'm really throwing this curveball. I didn't tell you about this.
You didn't give me a heads up about this. And it's like I said, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna rack my brain.
There you go.
Probably gonna have to do some editing here for some of the void while I think about it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of them. Some of them that you can't really say with microphones.
There's definitely that. But honestly, for me, this year is in cross. There's a lot of miles ran together, and that's always been a great way. As a runner, you bond with your team, with your athletes that you're coaching, or even with the people that I run with on a regular basis.
Especially with you, because you run with them. You legit run with them.
Particularly in cross when it makes sense. Like track, not so much. There's a lot more going on, and it does kind of hurt that I can't. Because I do. I mean, I love running, so not being able to join, I feel like the dog in the cage while they're shaking the ball. So I want to go too. But I would say that the miles ran together. That's always great. Looking back at any one of the athletes that's come through, like you spend a lot of time on the road, and it's a bit of a shared suffering sometimes when it's not great. Hot, cold, rainy, whatever. Yeah, those are the things you'll remember.
That's awesome, and I guarantee you, Mikey, that will not end because she's not in high school anymore. Right after Maggie Smith graduated, I see you guys working the trail, training.
I already asked Kate. It's I was like, hey, I have a crew that I run with in Kokomo, and I was like, well, now I'm Kokomo. It smiles. Keep up with you.
That's awesome. Again, just a tremendous athlete. She had a fantastic senior year. Just many awards. Her and here this year. So it's just fantastic to watch her grow into the college level and go into there. So, Mike, any last words for her and the listeners here?
Good luck and find a good place to eat, because listen, I'll be down there in Kokomo.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you, Mikey. That was the head coach for the Winamac girls cross country teams and the Winamac girls track team, Mikey Haschel. We will be right back. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Dylan Guilford, student athlete at Winamac, and you're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, we are continuing spreading the word and talking about the joy of Dylan Guilford, the senior, and we have the head coach for our Winamac boys track team who coaches them in the track sport, and that is Coach Kappas. How's it going, Coach?
Hey, everything's going great, Justin. Good to hear from you again.
We are talking about Guilford, Dylan Guilford, who's signing on. He's the first one. He mentioned it when we did the interview in the beginning of the year. He said that he was the very first one this year signing on to the next level. He's moving on to Purdue Northwest. He's running track and cross country. This start from the beginning, since you first started coaching Guilford, Coach. Just how much has he grown as just a human and as an athlete from what he is now?
Yeah, it just makes me smile to think back. Dylan being the young guy that he was as a freshman, sophomore, and the work ethic was always there, but just kind of tuning him in to taking things seriously and then really working through them. And then you just started seeing a lot of growth out of him late in his sophomore year and definitely into his junior year. And then, these guys, what they'll do is once they start seeing their successes, they'll search out for, more help, advice. How can I get better? And once you start asking those questions as an athlete, that's when you're going to start becoming better, especially if you execute those things from knowledgeable people. And I believe Dylan did that. He is a hard worker. He's a tremendous human being. And I'm just proud of him for getting the opportunity to move on to the next level.
It's crazy because I mentioned it with Mikey Haschel. I mean, it just feels like he's really just a student of the game when it comes to cross country and track, just wanting to soak up all the knowledge about each sport and improve that and improve his game and to get better. And that is very key, especially I feel like in running. I mean, it's a key thing to have. And I do feel like Guilford had that.
And Dylan, without Google, Dylan is a Wikipedia of what is going on in track around the nation. He'll let you know. He'll let you know what different events are happening and how people are doing and their names and their schools and everything about them. I mean, he truly studies what is going on in track around the nation, and I just find that fascinating, and I really appreciate his effort.
That is cool. That is pretty cool. His college process, How much did you have your head into that? Did he communicate with you on, hey, coach, this is something I want to do, run track in the next level or cross country? Did he communicate with you at all, just his process in the college process?
I always knew he was interested, but that's about as far as it goes. Dylan then recruited himself pretty well. I think it just came down to where he wanted to go to school based on what he wanted to study. Not everybody wants to study physics, and apparently Dylan Guilford is that guy. So, I think once he landed with a school that he was going to be comfortable with and the size, and he was able to meet with their coaches, so just give all the credit to him moving forward and getting himself in the position to show the film, get himself in front of people. All the praise and all the accolades and things like that go to Dylan. He did a great job.
Right. I do believe Purdue Northwest, they have a good one. I do believe they do. Just not as an athlete, but just like you mentioned, a human being. Give me at least one. I know you have many of them, but a favorite memory that you might have with Dylan when you had him, when you were coaching him in track.
When Dylan wins something, Dylan is one of the most intense people I have ever been around. And
not like competitive or just
it's all positive. He flexes so hard it looks like his arms are just gonna rip apart, and he gets so excited. And I just always just remember, man, he just did something he liked right there, and I'll always hold on to those because he was just he knew how to celebrate. When he knew he did it right, he let people know, and I appreciate it.
There you go. Well, hey, Coach, can't thank you enough. Do you have any last words for Dylan on this show?
Oh, Dylan, we just wish you the best. I know you're going to do great things. They certainly got a great one.
Thanks a lot, Coach. That was the head coach for our Winamac boys track team and Coach Bryce Kappas. We'll be right back with another Hey, You're Doing It. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast today, joined again by the head coach of the Winamac boys cross country team and Coach Mikey Haschel. How's it going, Mikey?
It's going great, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Join you again. You have another athlete moving on to the college level, and this one is for the cross country side, and that's Dylan Guilford, the senior, moving on, signing with Purdue Northwest. I do believe he was the first one this year to sign and move on. That's what he told me anyways. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm banking off what Dylan's saying.
I'm not watching the timeline. Who knows?
We'll say that's right. It sounded fancy. But he's moving on to Purdue Northwest to do to run cross country and track. Let's talk about Guilford. I know you've been involved with him as a coach. From him stepping in freshman year to now, just how much has he changed mentally, work ethic, and all that stuff for Dylan Guilford?
Well, I'm not sure if Dylan would attribute it or not, but I do recall a time when I saw a kid that looked like a runner working at Poblano's.
Yeah.
Said, "Hey, what's up? What do you think about cross?" And he's like, "Well, I do track." And I was like, "Yeah, what do you think about running cross?" And I'm not sure if that was the spark, but
we'll say it was.
We'll say it was. Yeah, I'll have to confirm that with him, but I do have that memory. And sure enough, when he came out, it was one of those ones where I'm like, "Excellent, we got one," because like he has been a contributor from day one. Mentally, a fantastic kid. And the thing that I love about Dylan is like you can really get. It's one thing to be physically talented, but when they identify with their sport and make it part of their like being or their personality, he has embodied that to the T.
And that's similar to what you did, right? You lived and breathed this stuff.
But I mean, you see it now and then. I mean, some are just really good at it, and you can tell they're just kind of like, oh man, if they, and he's one that has just been, just impassioned with track and cross country from the start. He knows the stats. He knows the other runners throughout the state that are doing what, and like his Instagram algorithm is probably stuffed with other athletes doing other things, and like he just takes it all in, and I so appreciate seeing that because it's infectious. I know a lot of the other kids like. Yeah, they're they get into that and the stats and stuff, and I'd like to bottle that up and feed it to some of the others. Right there, or to every class coming up because it's really cool to see that.
And it's big because just being a student of the game which I
Exactly.
feel like that's
Yeah.
what what he has. And, just being I feel like I get the good leader vibe too from him, just vocally that he's done. And again, having the younger kids see that, that's an awesome thing. Let's talk about his process. I don't know if he communicated with you much about the whole process, if it was, later on his junior or senior year, he wanted to, hey, this is something I wanted to do. Or did he reach out to Purdue? Actually, he did say that he reached out to Purdue Northwest, which was pretty cool. But did he keep you in the loop of what was going on with his college recruitment, or if this is something he wanted to do or not?
He did say it was something he'd want to do. I think anybody, when they get to a certain level and they see that they're having success, it's something that crosses your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Dylan being motivated like he is, he's reaching out. He's going to find out. He knows, like, these are the schools I possibly want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I run. Are you interested? So, I mean, I'm not surprised that he would reach out and, contact and say, let's talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and kind of like what we said, I mean, him being I feel like he's very vocal too. It was a very smooth conversation I had with him when we interviewed him for track, and that plays a big impact on a lot of things, not only in the college level, but in the adult life too. And I feel like he's got a good head on his shoulders for sure.
He has no problems as far as that goes, as far as like starting a dialogue and continuing on conversations. We talk training, like he has input. He definitely gives feedback.
Love it. Fondest memory. What's the fondest memory you have with Dylan Gifford coaching him up?
Well, I'd say that we had some Dylanisms in cross country. There were some quotes that we've pulled from his Strava that were really good. I know one of them was heat is a mindset, and when we had some hot runs, he had posted that at one point. And, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw a little shade and say, what was it? Ran out of time. I'll run a bit more later.
I like that.
So those are things that'll probably live on in infamy.
I love it. Was he a leg shaver? Did he shave his legs for sectional time for the
honestly, you say that I'm disappointed in myself that we didn't push that this year. I can't say I'm gonna go with last year. I'm sure he did. And this year I don't know if we really did that. Some did, some didn't, but we didn't make a big thing out of it. And I'll probably bring that back, though.
There you go.
I think
Bring
it's
it
very
back.
necessary.
It gives you what? Maybe a couple.
Oh, it's got 30 seconds
at
least, right? 30 seconds in wind resistance on those furry legs.
Exactly.
So you got to get at least 30 seconds.
Makes it 10 times faster.
Exactly.
Heck, if I didn't shave my legs, I would not have.
Yeah.
Tell you what. Well, hey, Mikey, thanks a lot for joining us. Do you have any last words about Dylan Guilford here?
Good luck in college. I know you'll do fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you. That was the head coach for the Winamac boys and girls cross country teams and then Winamac Hall of Famer Mikey Haschel. Hey, we will be right back. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hi, Warrior fans. This is Jetty Velcher, head coach of the Winamac softball team, and you are listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, we have Coach Deb Belcher joining us today to talk about one of her athletes moving on to the college level, and that will be Miss Lauren Bruce. Coach Belcher, how's it going?
Hey, we're doing good. How you doing today, Justin?
I am fantastic. You have a player moving on, a senior moving on to the college level, and Lauren Bruce, Coach. Let's just go ahead and start by just when you first started coaching her freshman year, then to now, how much has she grown? Just not only as a person, but as a player as well.
Yeah, she's grown a lot. When Lauren got on the scene as a freshman, she played some varsity, played a lot of JV, but you could tell as a freshman that Lauren, number one, loved the game, had fun when she was playing softball, and number two, that she was going to continue to work hard at it. So I think those things have really added to the success that she has seen, and then hopefully we'll see at the college level.
Absolutely. I mean, what I remember coaching Lauren, it felt like she was 100% all the time. And this was in basketball. There was times the ball was like not even close to her, and she was just bulldozing herself and diving for that ball.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, that it was quite similar like that in softball.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that that's probably why we were able to find a home for Lauren defensively at third base. When you said she's kind of like a bulldog on the basketball court, if you're playing third base for a high school team, you better have that kind of mentality. Like you're not afraid and you're challenging the other team to bring their best, and you have to, react so quickly and have no fear. And that's kind of how she played third base for us this year.
Loved it. And, she was involved in batting as well. Second on your team in hits, which is a fantastic thing. She was really getting the bat active, which is awesome. Coach, well, let's talk about her college process. I don't know how much she kept you in the loop. Did she mention at all that she wanted to move on at some school and onto the college level? Did she keep you in the loop on that?
Oh yeah, she did. It obviously, we weren't the main ones or the only ones involved, but we were aware that she wanted to play after high school if that opportunity became available for her. Over at Marian College of Ancilla, my coaching staff and I know the coach over there well. His name's Gil Arzola, and he actually has run our team camps for our high school team for about the last 10 years. So we know him well, and he was interested in any prospects, and we thought, once Lauren said yes, she was interested in Ancilla, then it just went from there. So we're really happy for her and the opportunity that she's going to get over there.
That's awesome. That's awesome stuff, and it's great that she's moving on and playing at that level. Well, do you have any? I know, Coach. I know there's when I ask this, I know there's I guarantee a bunch of just memories flooding on by. But do you have a favorite memory of Lauren Bruce of the time that you've coached her?
Yeah. So I would probably say a couple of them. The first one's kind of funny. This was Lauren's sophomore year, if I remember correctly. And we were in the sectional over at Rochester, and we were playing Rochester, and, the dugout was super hyped. We were ahead in that game and getting close to the end, and I needed a pinch hitter. And I walked in front of the dugout during a dead ball. I had to go find Lauren. I'm like, okay, I need Lauren to hit here. And she has two Gatorade paper cups that she tore the bottoms out of and she had those on her ears. And then I had another Gatorade cup that she tore the bottom out of that she was using as a little mini megaphone. Now, again, she wasn't alone. This was kind of this scene in the dugout because they were so fired up. But I remember walking down and saying, Lauren, and it's so loud I had to scream, Lauren. She turned to look my way and had these Gatorade cups on her ears, and I said, grab it back because you're going to hit. She was like, oh, okay. So all of a sudden she transitioned from, this fun-loving atmosphere of being goofy to now she's got to grab a bat and go do a job. So that was pretty awesome. The other memory that I have, probably just to show off her skills, this just happened a couple weeks ago when we played North Miami, and we were playing them for that conference championship game. And North Miami had an outstanding leadoff batter, and it's late in the game, and this leadoff batter was coming up to bat to start their inning, and she laid down a bunt down the third baseline that Lauren pounced on and threw to first base and got this batter out by about a step and a half. And I'm sure that didn't happen very often in their season. And I think it just sent a message to North Miami that said, this may have worked for you before, but this is not working today. And the Warriors are going to get this job done. So two good memories. One that's more, kind of funny and fun-loving, and the other one is all business. And that's kind of the way Lauren can be too. She can be both those people at the same time.
Right, and I'm sure one of them. Well, I'm sure they'll both stay with you, but one of them will help that help you guys clinch the Champions Conference title.
Right.
It's Miami now, which is awesome.
Yep,
Well,
that was
well,
a
hey,
good day for the Warriors.
good day for the Warriors. I love it. Well, hey, Coach, do you have any before we have you take off? Do we have any last words for Lauren Bruce on this show?
You know what? I would just tell Lauren to keep working both in the classroom and on the softball field. And remember that once a Lady Warrior, always a Lady Warrior.
I love that. Can we get that on a T-shirt? I'll wear that bad boy.
Let's see what we can do.
Awesome. Well, hey, Coach, I can't thank you enough. Thanks once again for jumping on. Coach Jen Belcher, the head coach for our Winamac Lady Warriors softball team. We'll be right back. Heck, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Camden Long, student athlete at Winamac Community High School, and you're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, super excited to have the head coach for our Winamac boys track team and Coach Bryce Kappas to talk about Camden Long, one of his seniors. How's it going, Coach?
Oh, it's going great, Justin. Great to hear from you again.
All right, so we are at the Camden Long section now. He is, well, technically, you had him one last year, I do believe, than the other. He is signing, moving on to Olivet Nazarene to run in track. Yep, let's talk about from the beginning, Coach. How has Camden grown since the first time you coached him to he is now, just as a person and athlete?
So Camden came to us after a year at Pioneer, and he came up through with our track team, and he had a lot of polished skills already in the hurdle. Kind of understood what he wanted to do and how to get a little better. And then I think moving up here, not that Pioneer didn't have good hurdlers, because they do, but getting up here and beginning to work with the guys that we had up here started to show growth and really competitiveness. And I remember him settling in last year saying, I'm going to win the 110 hurdle. And he kept watching the times come down and down and down. And he would aim for times and he would get them, and he would aim for a new time and he would get it. He would aim for a new time and he'd get it. And that's just the kind of athlete Camden is. I know last year we had some leg issues throughout the year, needed some rest days, needed some time off to try to cope with some of that. And this year he didn't have as much of that. And I think being able to stay healthier showed even more improvement throughout the year. So all of his PRs, all those wonderful nights that he did, what he needed to do to win the 110 paid off, because Camden is a very hard worker.
That's great. That's great. And you know what? He's Camden's super athletic. He's an athletic dude. I mean, I remember him, being little, him doing like 10,000 flips in a row, backflip, which is not an easy thing. Don't attempt it, Coach.
I don't think I will be.
But I mean, he's just an athletic kid, and it makes sense to me. Hurdles is just some kind of vertical and jumping, and it's good to see him into that and active into that. College process, Coach. I know, this one was a little bit funky because he is graduating early. But did you get your head into the college process and say, hey, Coach, this is something I'm interested in, or anything like that?
This one's unique because he was a junior. He came up to me during winter workout, and he told me he was going to Olivet, and he told me he was going to be talking to the track coach there and working with them. And so that is the process. He ended up getting signed on there. He ended up really liking the school. He's been over there a couple of times. I believe he knows where he's going to live. He has his roommate set up. So Camden's propelled himself into, like everything he does, once he's focused on it, he's going to make sure it's carried out through the end until it's done. And that's what Camden did. He made sure he graduated early. He made sure he went to the college of his choice, and he made sure he was on the track team. And that just speaks to his character and how confident he is in himself and his abilities. And I couldn't be more proud of Camden.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's kind of like Dylan, a very confident kid, and he is super excited about all of that. He loves that school already.
Oh yeah,
he's bleeding purple, I feel like. But it is a great school, and fondest memory. Give me something about Camden Long that you'll hang on to, Coach. A favorite memory that you might have about Camden.
I will always remember him winning his first 110-meter. He was just locked in to doing that. And as the coach, you want to cheer all the guys on, and then there's time for, you're really locked in and engaged and want to see this particular thing happen. And when he won that first 110-meter hurdle, the excitement and just the recognition that all his hard work had paid off, and he had done it finally, is just something I'll always remember about him.
That's awesome. And that was that last year or this year that happened?
Yeah, it was later in the season last year. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool thing. Well, you have any last words for Camden Long on this show?
Camden, can't wish you anything but the best. You're going to be a phenomenal person out in the world. The world needs you. So good luck, and your track team got a good one.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Coach. That was our head coach for our Winamac boys track team, Coach Bryce Kappus. We will be right back. You're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Braden Mathias, student athlete for Winamac High School, and you're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, I'm alongside with our head coach for our Winamac boys baseball team and Coach Mark Hendricks. How's it going, Coach?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks a lot for jumping on with us today. We have 4 players. You have 4 of them. Moving on to the college level, we'll go ahead and we'll knock them all out in one convo because we're awesome. All right, Coach?
Yeah.
First, let's go ahead and talk about Addison Allen, who did sign and going on to play with the Indiana Tech Warriors. He's being a Warrior again. Let's go ahead and talk about him, Coach Allen. When you first started coaching him, I think maybe his sophomore year, how has he grown from then till now, his senior year?
The easy word's maturity.
There you
go. He was a little squirrely when he was a sophomore. His focus wasn't really there, but he's really grown into a leadership role for me. He did. Just matured so much in 3 years. It was crazy.
I mean, I can see that as well. I mean, not only in baseball, just overall as a person, in football, and I really feel like you're right. You nailed it. He's grown as an individual, and his playing skills got a lot better too. I was looking at his numbers from last year. His batting got better. Especially in the RBI, like he led the team in RBIs. I do believe my numbers are correct. He was a big part of his senior year. Improving was a big part of Allen's game his senior year. It was awesome.
Yeah, Addy was, he's been solid for 3 years in a row, and he's I've got a couple, but he's the one that wanted to play so bad at the next level. He went to every camp, every tryout, everything in the world. Anymore, that's how you get recruited. It's an ugly thing to talk about, but it's the truth. They don't come to you. You've got to go to them. And he did that, and it worked out for him. He got a scholarship to Indiana Tech, and he's really looking forward to the next level, and I can't wait to watch him play there.
So he did reach out to them then to go and play for Indiana Tech then?
Well, they saw him at a camp.
Okay.
8 or 9 of them, and he played travel ball in that area, so he was easy. It was easy for them to get exposure to him, and they went and watched, and they liked what they saw, and signed him up, which was great for him.
That was great. Favorite memory with Allen? I'm sure you had have a bunch with Addy. Do you have any stick out favorite memory coaching Addy there?
Yeah. It started happening when he was a junior. I call it new school coaching. It's just coaching, but for me, it's new school. And Addy, I always coached old school. There was a particular game when he was a junior. Man, oh man, did I get Audie. And he never said a word. And after the game, he asked me, he goes, Coach, why do you yell at me so much? I said, because you can take it, and some of these other guys can't. So I'm sending a message to them through you a lot of the time. And he just smiled and he goes, that's awesome. So I remember that like it was yesterday. And he he uh he took that really well and just fun at practice. He's a little crazy, and I like those guys. And again, I can't wait to watch him play at the next level.
Yeah, I mean that's that. I mean, you know what? It is. I do enjoy when the players they can take some yelling here and there. It's a big part because I feel like it makes them a little bit better as a player, an individual.
It does, and you got to be able to take it. You got to be able to know it's not personal. Hey, he's trying to teach me, just teaching me loud, and he probably got more of that than anybody I've ever had. And boy, he handled it well. Addie's been to my house a lot. I mean, we've talked about everything under the sun. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him showing up at 9:30, just walking in the door and seeing what was on TV. He'll be a kid I miss a lot.
Awesome. Well, do you have any last word for Addie on this show, Coach?
Proud of him, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck at Indiana Tech.
Awesome stuff. All right, move on to your next athlete, Coach. This is Peyton Attinger. Now, with Peyton Attinger, he is not playing baseball, but he is going to Southwestern Michigan College and being part of the bass fishing team. Now, this one's a little bit different, but you have coached him, since you first started coaching him in baseball. How has he grown from what he is now?
He's grown a lot. He was, and I think he'd agree with this without much argument, but, he was a little tough to coach at first. He kind of had an attitude, and it wasn't terrible or anything, but he worked hard. He took coaching well, and, I couldn't be, I told you earlier, I thought he was my biggest surprise of the year. He worked his tail off and became a great defensive player. And I think the biggest thing with him also is maturity. He turned into one of those guys. Boy, I love to see him walk through the gate every day at practice. His attitude was great, and it spread to the other kids.
You knocked it earlier. His fielding definitely improved. He was a pretty good fielder. I was seeing some games, doing some moves out there, just fielding the ball. I'm like, dang, that was a pretty good move. It was a big boy move that he just did, getting somebody out about it. He was fun to watch for sure in the field. Let's talk about his college process. I don't know if he mentioned anything to you if he bragged about him being a really good fisher. I don't know.
Well, he tried to brag to me about being a good fisherman, and I told him I could go out there and I could smoke him any day of the week, and that always got him to laugh. But boy, there aren't many kids that show up to baseball practice with their boat hooked up to the back of their truck, and as soon as baseball was over, he was on the water.
Okay.
He loves it. He works hard at it. He studies it. I've talked to him about it. It's crazy how much time he's put into it, and I'm thrilled to death that it's paid off for him. It's something he loves to do. I think he's getting paid pretty well to go do it, and I couldn't be happier for him. He will be like a pig in slop next year.
Oh, I love it. I mean, when I first saw that he was signing with them, I was pretty impressed. I'm like, dang, that's a pretty cool thing.
Well,
that's awesome. All right. Favorite memories with Peyton Attinger. What do you got, Coach?
It's got to be. As soon as the weather got above 30, and I let the seniors, they built us like a dressing room at the field this year, and only the juniors and seniors were allowed to drive. And the first day he pulled up out there with that boat hooked up to his truck, I laughed, and I told him, hey, you can focus on fishing when this is over. He goes, oh, Coach, it's all baseball till 6 o'clock. So
there you go.
I'll never forget him pulling into practice almost every day with that boat hooked up.
Yeah, that's a different thing. But definitely, that's a cool little memory, Coach. Well, do you have any last words for Peyton Attinger on this show?
Yeah. Again, I'm really proud of him, and if he gets in trouble, those fish aren't biting, he knows who to call.
Yeah, you'll give him some tips, right?
Yeah, they'd be real useful to him.
Awesome, Mike. Thanks, Coach. All right, let's move on to your next athlete. That's Braden Matthias. Now, where did you say, Coach, that he was looking to go to?
Looking to go to Evansville,
Okay.
and I've convinced him to walk on. I think Braden could play, and I told him, don't mess around with shortstop. Go to the outfield day one. He is a tremendous outfielder. I just couldn't afford to play him there. You know, he was my shortstop, and he was really good, but I'd let him practice there some, and I think he's got all the tools to play, and I sure hope he goes down there and he walks on, because I think he might surprise himself. I think he's got a really good chance. I know he hits well enough. He runs really well, and he's just got a cannon in the arm for an outfielder. So I really hope that all works out for him, and I hope he makes the team.
Right. I mean, heck, he led your team, Coach, this year in batting percentages, most hits on your team, and he was a heck of a leader. And again, yeah, I can see him playing the outfield too. He has some good speed, a pretty strong arm. That definitely makes sense. And just when you first started coaching him, Coach, how's he grown from then to now?
Oh, he's gotten so much better. As a sophomore, he liked to hold on the ball a little bit too long at shortstop, and because he depended on that arm. And each year he kept getting rid of the ball a little quicker, and he got to be really good. And you know, the thing with Braden is there were so many balls hitting in the air, and I don't care if they were within 100 yards of him, he was calling everybody off at making that play. It was crazy. He's so good at balls in the air, and I just won't forget how hard he worked at it. You know, he could have went in the outfield, and I probably did him a little disservice, and he'd have been phenomenal there. But he filled a big need for us, and you know, we're going to miss him a lot.
Now, did he say at all during the, before the season started that he wanted to walk on anywhere or play anywhere, or is that just Evansville was a great school for him and he wanted to, and you mentioned to him to try to walk on? Well, how did that process look like?
I asked him, early on in the season where he thought he was going to school, and he said, well, I think I'm going to go to Evansville. And I started talking to him right then about walking on. And at first, I think he thought I was a little crazy, but he had a really good senior year. And I kept talking to him about it and, telling him to go play the outfield. And I think it started to click that, hey, I might be able to do this. At least it's worth a shot. And I'm really excited. I hope he goes through with it, because I think he could be a diamond in the rough for Evansville. I really do.
All right, Coach, favorite memory with Braden Matthias. What do you got?
Oh, I can't remember the game. I remember the play. Somebody hit like a sinking line drive behind third base, and we were on the road, and it was going to be a really big hit. I think they had a guy on third and second, and there was 2 outs, and I don't know how he got there. I still don't know how he got there, but he ended up laying out, sliding across the grass on his stomach, and just made maybe one of the top 5 high school plays I'd ever seen.
Wow.
And he made another play like that. I don't know against who it was. It was a line drive. And I've never really seen Braden jump, but man, he got up for that one. I told him if you jumped like that in basketball, you'd have had 5 dunks. But he was in the air, just made a great play to save another inning. And I've got a lot of memories of Braden making just phenomenal plays.
I mean, he does. I mean, he was like this in basketball. He did all the little things right. And it's tough to not have a player on the floor when you do that. He did all the hustle things and just the dirty plays.
Yeah.
And I definitely saw, watching him play baseball. He definitely did that in baseball as well. He got dirty.
Yeah, diving for balls is not something that comes natural to kids.
No.
And Braden was doing it from day one. I always knew. I don't care. Like this year, the uniforms were new. I knew by week 3 or 4, his would have a big hole in them, and they do. And that's the way he plays. He plays hard. He doesn't know any other way. He's really quiet. Braden's not a big talker, but he leads by example. And he did a great job.
That's just, if you have holes or dirt marks in your jersey, Coach, that means you're just a heck of a player. I know mine giving you my jersey, my senior, fresh and clean. And you know what that means, then? You know.
Hey, I got a lot of those, but I always knew what Braden's were going to look like when he turned.
Oh, I'm sure they're dirty as heck, man.
Yeah,
Which is a beautiful thing.
It was
last words for Messiah, Coach.
Believe in yourself. Now, I don't know if Braden knows how good he could be. If he gets down there and it's baseball all the time, which he's never been a part of, I think Braden will be surprised at how good a player he can become. So if he believes in himself, I know he's going to work hard enough. I think he's got a really good shot, and I hope it works out.
I agree with you. Heck of a worker. And again, if you have some self-confidence, it'll definitely help you, especially in Evansville school there. So good luck to get Matthias there. Coach, let's move on to your last athlete. You have Brody Winsler, who was had a heck of a year for you, Coach. And I do believe you mentioned to me that he is visiting. Manchester hasn't signed yet, but he's visiting, right?
Yeah, I sent out, and I know Mr. Leverett sent out a bunch of stuff on Brody, because he kind of came out of nowhere last year. And he wasn't a big camp guy. He didn't go to a lot of that, so he didn't have exposure. I think I emailed, I'm pretty sure, every college coach in the state, and I think Mr. Leverett did a lot of area. Finally, the Manchester guy got a hold of me, and we talked for a long time. And they came to the sectional Saturday, and I told him afterwards, I said, he didn't have his best stuff, but he battled. And the Manchester guy told me, he goes, well, I saw enough. We want him. So they're going to schedule a visit with him here in the next couple of weeks. And if Brody wants to go play there, they want him. So I hope he goes and plays. I know his thoughts were IUK. He's going to go to school there, which is fine. But if he can go somewhere that wants him to play baseball, boy, I sure hope that works out.
And when we had him on the show, Coach, he did mention that he didn't want to play baseball. Where we ended up going, like you mentioned, it was IUK, so I decided on. But, with Manchester, it'd be pretty awesome seeing him in the baseball uniform a few more years. Again, he had a heck of a year. Pitching 98 strikeouts, making him, like you mentioned, number 2 in school history, tying Isaac Henry. Pretty awesome stuff. Coach, just how much has he grown since you first started coaching him till now?
Oh, Brody by leaps and bounds. When he was a sophomore, I thought, I had a kid named Corey Hibbs who I loved to death. Corey was a left-handed pitcher, threw about 60, 65, and I thought, Winsler's going to fit right in that niche. He's going to be okay. He's going to battle guys. And, man, did he go to work on his arm and his velocity. I'll bet since he started, he's picked up 15, 18 miles an hour on his fastball. And he's worked so hard. And it's the only sport Brody does. He didn't understand a lot about athletics and how things work, but he kept it. He's stuck in there. He grinded it out, and man, did he become a good player.
Now, did Brody have a big mouth like Corey Hentz? Is that similar as well, or I hope not?
No, Corey Hentz has never been a stranger in his life, and Brody is nothing like that.
I mean, because I played with him, and I knew how quiet Corey was. So
yeah, Corey thought he could beat the Cubs, which was awesome. But
talk about some self-confidence, heck, man.
Yeah, him and Brody are completely different. Brody's just really quiet. He doesn't say much. We'll ask questions every now and then, but he just goes out there and throws. He was a pitcher only coming into the year, and he ended up hitting over 300 for us. He would get better as a hitter, so I'm excited for Brody. I hope he continues to play. That's his decision, but the opportunity's there if he wants it.
Right. And did he say anything at all about maybe trying to go at IUK and walk on or play there? Did he mention that?
I told him that. That's a good question. I told him, if you do go there, you need to walk on. I told him, you will make the team. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Right.
So I don't know what his plans are. We didn't talk a lot Saturday. They were all kind of depressed. But I'll probably run into Brody a couple times this summer and see how that's going. See if he's decided what he's going to do yet. I know Manchester, the assistant coach and the head coach have both contacted me. They want him to come there, so I hope he goes and looks around. My stepson played football there. I like that place. It's really cool, and I hope it works out for him.
I mean, some team will definitely take him. I mean, he's number 6 in state in strikeouts. I mean, he can pitch the baseball. So
yeah, somebody's getting a hidden gem there.
Right, absolutely. Favorite memory for Brody Winsler? Yeah.
For Brody, I think it was a North White game, and it was in like the second or third inning. And Xavier, freshman, said something in the dugout like, "Hey, you got a no-hitter," and everybody just kind of moaned and said, you don't talk about it. He's had 3 career one-hitters, and I just put my head down. And Brody's like, "Yeah, I knew that. Wasn't everybody upset? I knew I had a no-hitter." And then he just went out and finished it off. It's like, hey, it's no big deal. That's what I'm supposed to do. And it's just the way he acted in that moment that I thought that was hilarious. I'll remember that from Brody for a long time.
Well, heck, he saved the freshman spot.
Yeah, he did. He sure did.
That could have been pretty bad if he ended up losing that.
Oh, he lost that. Oh, my God.
Pretty cool. Any last words for Winsler there for you?
Try. Don't take that talent and be done with it at the high school level. There's too much talent in that left arm. I'd love for him to go use it. Obviously that's his choice. It's a lot of time, takes away a lot from your studies, but he's got all the tools. I hope he tries.
Love it. And he's definitely made his mark in Winamac baseball history for sure.
That'll be there for a long time.
Absolutely. So hopefully he'll continue that to the next level. Awesome stuff. Well, hey, Coach, we did it. You don't have any secret ones, do you? Do you have any more?
No. That's all the guys going that I know of.
Right now, yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure you have more. That's awesome stuff. Hey, Coach, I can't thank you enough. Do you have any last words for us?
I'm going to miss those 6 guys, and I wish them nothing but the best in the future. I told you, I think early on, everybody wants to win, but I don't get anything but wins and losses. It's the kind of young men they become once they're 20 to 25, and I've got high hopes in this group to be great young men, and I think we're all headed in the right direction.
Right, and seeing you, following you on Facebook, we're Facebook friends, believe it or not. And I see you have hosting them, those seniors in your house. It looked like just a nice breakfast or dinner, whatever it was. I'm sure it was some baseball talk, but lots of it was just growing, just communication and being there for them. Again, we had that too. My senior year, believe it or not, I played for you, Coach.
Yeah, I remember. I told them this is a really small window in your life.
Oh, yeah.
All you think now is you want to be a good center fielder, a good shortstop. And I told them, I don't care about that. Be a good dad, be a good husband. Those are the things that matter. And we talk a lot about stuff like that, and I sure hope it sunk in. And they're a great group of kids.
Love it. Well, hey, Coach, can't thank you enough. Another good season. Appreciate it. That was the head coach for our Winamac boys baseball team. We will be right back. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Winamac Athletic Podcast, please reach out to us on our social media for more details on how you can support both the podcast and our athletic program. Thank you for listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. Riverside Rentals. Enjoy canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winamac. Action Plumbing and Heating for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. We would like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring today's show. and being part of the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe. Go Warriors!